2722. That's 864-2722. Or online at lanceroofing.com.
Folks, fair season's here, but we've not forgotten about your fur babies, horses, feathered friends. We carry a huge variety of feeds and seeds to meet their needs. Also bedding to keep them warm on cold winter nights. Discounts for veterans, first responders, Farm Bureau members. Homestead Feed and Supply, New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, we're finally back up and live and going live on Facebook and YouTube, of course. WWE Extreme Rules live from Nationwide Arena this Sunday night in Columbus, and then immediately following that on Monday Night Raw at Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati. And we got tickets to both. We've already taken care of our winners from yesterday. Let's rack up some more winners today. I want to send you guys to watch WWE live. It's one hell of an experience. Everyone out there that likes to try and poke fun. Oh, you know wrestling's fake, right? Find me a wrestling fan that's trying to convince you it's real, and then your argument will be valid. The people that do the wrestling's fake, you're not telling wrestling fans anything they don't already know. And for those that I just broke the news to, I'm so sorry. I hope that's not how you found out. I hope your parents told you when you were a little kid. But you guys sound as foolish as the people that try to say, well, Baker Mayfield, he wouldn't be good if he didn't have an offensive line. You sound as dumb as those people. So for those who like wrestling, like myself and Kev when he was younger, head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show if you don't like the show page already, and then share the live video feed. We're live on Facebook, the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Go to Facebook, share the live video feed, and make sure you like and follow the Justin Kinner Show page, okay? Like the show page, share the video feed. Everybody that shares that will automatically be entered into the drawing, of course, to win the tickets. So make sure you get that taken care of. Again, WWE Extreme Rules Sunday night, Nationwide Arena in Columbus, and then WWE Monday Night Raw, Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati on Monday. Like and share the video feed, like and follow the show page. All right, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, hour number 2. We do have high school football coming up here later on tonight. Northmont will welcome in Miamisburg in the G-Walk Showdown. Really excited about that matchup. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself will be live on the call. Hey, there you go. There's Jake Whiting, who said that would be so cool to go to a pay-per-view. He said done. He shared the live video feed. We can only see half your face, Kev.
Huh? What happened?
The camera, you're getting taller. That's what it is.
My grandmother did ask me if I got taller when I went to go see her last weekend. I was like, nope, still just 6 feet. Still just 6 feet.
My grandma, every time I go see her, she's like, have you lost weight? I'm like, well, now at least I could say I've lost weight. But I remember my family, too, when they knew I was getting fatter and fatter. Have you lost weight? My family would laugh. I wouldn't get ticked at her asking if I've lost weight. I'd get ticked at the people laughing in the back. I'm like, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing like that incident we had earlier this year, though.
Oh, yeah. So I don't care. I'm not going to say who it was. So we have this coworker. She's super sweet. Love her to death. But she was trying to pay me a compliment, and it ended up just being a real big insult, really, at the end of the day. She came up. She goes, Justin, have you lost weight? I'm like, actually, yes. I'm down about 35, 40 pounds in that range. I actually have lost a lot. She goes, oh, yeah, you've always reminded me of my brother. And I'm like, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, he was fat, too. And I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks. Holy moly. So again, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Kev, there was another time, another former coworker of ours, when he first started working here, and I'm socially awkward. I don't know why I work in the communications field whenever I'm socially awkward, don't know how to talk to people. But he thought my name was Jason. Mm-hmm. So one time he passed my office. Hey, what's up, Justin? Or Jason? He goes, hey, what's up, Jason? I said, you know what? He's new. He'll learn. I said, hey, what's going on? But then like 2 or 3 days into the week, every day was, so I let it go on too long. And at a certain point, I can't fix it. I can't be like 2 weeks into this thing, be like, actually, by the way, my name's Justin. Because then I'm the jerk for then you get embarrassed. So then I just let it go. So I was always Jason.
Oh my goodness. I don't think Jason. You ever told me that story.
You got those razors.
Okay. I know you're talking about.
So, yeah. So there's that. But it would be so funny when other coworkers would catch him say, Hey, what's up, Jason? They'd look around like, just go with it. I'm Jason to him. Just let it go. I think it's like that episode of Friends where like they called him that name too long, and eventually he's like, I got to be that guy now. I can't, like, I've just let it go on too long.
Oh my goodness.
518-1410. That's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation. Todd Hart, he has shared the live Facebook feed as well, so I appreciate that. Oh, really? So we haven't heard from this guy yet this season. I'm pretty excited. And look, we got the band ready to go. Oh yeah, you hear the music. That means it's the one and the only, the true American dude. How are you, sir?
Hey, are these the two intermediate sportscasters on WING?
That is us for the time being.
Till Sunday at 1 o'clock, right?
Till Sunday at 1 o'clock. Exactly. How are you?
Man, I'll tell you what, man. I'm working, dude.
That's
got some lazy ass Americans that don't want to work. I've been putting 11, 12-hour days in, dude. But I listen to you guys on the radio every day. Hey, real quick, Nick, the Bengals fan, send me. I'll give you when I get off here. I'll come up Sunday. I'll give the address to Justin, and he can forward it to you or whatever. I want to know if I can join, being a senior citizen, if I can join the Mickey Mouse Club. That's who he sounds like when he talks on there. Hi, I'm a Bengals fan. I'm the Mickey Mouse Club member. Why don't you gross that, dude? Really?
Hold on. What did he do? Nick's a good dude. Why do you got to be like that? Why do you got to call in and be a bully?
Well, he's a Bengals fan for one thing, so he's already got a mark against him. Hey, real quick, Sunday, I'm not worried about Sunday's game. Nick Chubb, that guy, I'm not ready to, he's a baby in the NFL right now, but I love that guy's demeanor. When he scores, he ain't out there doing no dancing. I've seen him hand the ball back to the official. He may, high five his teammates and whatever. He's a super class guy. I love the guy. And, and all your the Tampa Bay boy that calls Baker Hayfield all the time. Well,
his name's Ron. I'll give you his name. That's Ron.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm sure he's been a Tampa Bay fan even back since '76 when they couldn't buy a win like the Squealers couldn't do back in the day. Anyway, long story short, I'll get off here because I can't drive and talk too well. I'll see you guys up there Sunday. Go Browns!
There he is. He was. You could tell that he'd been backed up a bit. He hadn't called in a while. First of all, Nick, I love you, Nick. You didn't deserve that. Nick's a good. He came in and made the show. He made our listeners smarter today. Not
absolutely.
The true American came in and just haymaker after haymaker. You could tell it's football season with him. But so when he said he'll see us Sunday, that's right. Sunday morning, the Sunday morning tailgate show. We will be live at Frickers on 741 by the Dayton Mall. So come on out and hang out with us from 11:30 to 1. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and I will stay right up to kickoff of the 1 o'clock games. Browns and Bengals both in action that day, and we hang out for a little bit, have some lunch, and just kind of hang out with everybody. So come on out. The Sunday morning tailgate show live this Sunday from Frickers. We'll also be giving away some Dave Matthews Band tickets live at Frickers this Sunday. Dave Matthews Band will be at Riverbend this Tuesday night. We have some tickets. We'll be giving those tickets away to those who show up. You'll have a chance to win those tickets when you come on Sunday. So Doug Toby, Kev, he says, you guys are too calm today. We need Mikey.
No, please no.
And I went back and I re-listened to some of that yesterday, and we're going to have a little bit of that coming up. But what?
Dude.
None of that made any sense. I was like, okay, maybe we're missing something here. And the problem with Mikey's definition of what an interim coach was is he basically made every coach an interim coach. He kept saying, well, we don't know if Ryan Day's going to be here. If he's only here for 6-7 years, then that means he's an interim coach. What? Like, every coach is hired to be fired. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Bill Belichick is an interim coach in New England, according to Mikey. I don't know. You guys are the ones with the radio show. I mean, he was just going at us, and I'm like, holy smokes, dude. Like, you're wrong. Like, you can't just have an opinion of what something means when there's a definition that describes what you're talking about and you're ignoring what the actual definition is. You are no longer a person with an opinion. You are just a person that is flat out wrong. And Mikey and I, we have a lot of different opinions on stuff, but this time he was just straight up wrong. But good. I respect the hell out of him for. I mean, you gave him the Webster's dictionary definition, and he looked at. Well, he didn't look, but he didn't care. He's like, nah.
That's not my definition.
Not my definition. I mean, good for him. I guess
it
was good. But, David Getz on Facebook says, love the show, but I can't seem to share it to the extreme. Share it to the extreme. You could share it though, right? Just share it, David. You'll be fine. Just share it. And then we run the generator that'll pick the name at random. And hopefully you're one of the names that's in that pod, and we'll be in good shape. Again, WWE Extreme Rules tickets and Monday Night Raw tickets. Extreme Rules in Columbus on Sunday night, Monday Night Raw in Cincinnati. How about this Cleveland Browns player right here, former Cleveland Browns player? Josh Gordon has been reinstated for the 125th time.
Mm-hmm.
And, wide receiver, he could play in week 4, sources say. I do believe if the NFL had not changed their stance on marijuana, he would still be suspended right now. I think that they found themselves in a weird situation. For instance, this is what I don't like about, I don't want to get into whether players should be able to smoke pot or not. But the point is that for the last 10 years or however long Josh Gordon's been in the NFL, we don't know anything about Josh Gordon of who he is, the person.
Right.
We've talked about one thing and one thing only, and that is he has a love for pot. Okay? He smokes a lot of pot. He knows he's going to get drug tested. He smokes pot. Doesn't care. And what was frustrating about that is that the NFL, to me, I was always frustrated because I'm like, look, I'm not judging you for smoking the pot, but what I don't like is that you're not supposed to. You're going to get drug tested. You know that there's a chance you can get busted and be kicked out of the league again. So clearly the NFL does not mean enough to you that you could put that to the side. And that's what my take on that always was. And now the NFL doesn't test for pot anymore, but they kept him suspended. So that's what my frustrated part was. So now he's not a villain anymore. Now, it's kind of like what we talked about with the changing the, giving some of the records back to the players. The college football said absolutely not. You're not, Ohio State and some of the others, USC with Reggie Bush, not going to get his Heisman back and what have you. So, but the NFL has quietly reinstated him. But my thing is there could be a player that smokes just as much weed now that Josh Gordon did over the last 10 years, but we'll never vilify that person. We'll never look at him as being wrong because it's just no longer, being tested for in the NFL. And that's what I just find most fascinating about all of this is Josh Gordon has been painted to be this horrible person because of this, when really every player or most players in the NFL are doing the same thing. It's just no longer tested for. And now we don't look at them as horrible people, but we looked at Josh Gordon as a horrible person. But it all goes back to what I said earlier about, we're not judging you for smoking the pot itself. It's the fact that you knew you were going to get tested. You knew you were going to be suspended. Your career was on the line. I mean, it's a privilege to play in the NFL. And you continued to break that rule. And I was sympathetic at first. And then after a while, I'm like, dude, I feel bad that he's in that situation because clearly it's an addiction. But man, that was his journey in the NFL has been a tough one to follow. You want to root for him, but I might sound mean here, but I don't care that he's back now. A while back I did. I was like, okay, I'm pulling for him. But he's taken a step back so many times. It's like, dude, eventually, it's hard for fans to really buy into it. What's he going to do now? But the problem is he's not going to fail a drug test now because they're not testing for it. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he obviously has a problem, an addiction problem and everything like that. And I know people I can't be addicted to weed. It's just weed or whatever the case may be. Whatever.
They've never been to a Dave Matthews Band concert.
Whatever his addiction to marijuana is, he definitely has it. And, it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but, these problems he's had dated back to college. It goes from his Baylor days. Remember, he ended up transferring to Utah and then got kicked off the team for marijuana there. Then it was he got supplemental draft. He wasn't even in the regular draft. And then he has that huge, 2 seasons with the Browns, everything like that. And then the suspensions just kept rolling in. So he came into the NFL with 1 strike, you know what I mean? And then it's just been issue after issue. And, the thing for the average person out there, they know that, all right, especially when he was in the NFL, you basically got drug tested 1 time. You knew when you're going to get drug tests. You're going to get drug tested in between the start of training camp or 2 weeks in the training camp. And after that 2-week period, everybody on the team has been tested for recreational drugs and illegal drugs and all that type of stuff. And then you don't get tested again because the collective bargaining agreement, they worked it out that they're only going to get tested that 1 time. And that was it. Not like the 80s when dudes was getting tested for steroids basically on a weekly basis or recreational drugs on a weekly basis. That's where people's frustrations really came in. It was like, hold on, dude, you can smoke as much as you want, but when the test is going to come. So you can't pipe down on the weed for 2 weeks so you can pass this test and then get on with your career, because like you said, nobody's out here judging him for smoking weed. Like, hey man, that's you. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But like, you can't chill out to get this test passed so you can A, help my football team, B, help my fantasy football team, and C, you can enjoy your career and everything like that. So, for him being reinstated, man, there's obviously a lot more going on with him than just meets the eye for somebody to, throw their career away over drugs and everything like that. And like you said, it's an addiction problem. So it is what it is, man. So many people out there have an addiction problem, and people are addicted to, food. People are addicted to alcohol. People are addicted to drugs. And he just so happens to be a supremely talented athlete in the limelight that's addicted to drugs. And we look at him like, what's going on here? Because it is this type of drug. If it was a different type of drug, people would feel like, yeah, man, just say no. Like, that's crazy. But it's weed, so people look at it as like, man, it's weed. Like, how can you be addicted to weed? But it's just him.
So it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. But yes, the NFL has reinstated Josh Gordon, and he could potentially play as early as in Week 4. He was reinstated, according to sources from Adam Schefter. The former All-Pro is expected to be eligible to play as early as Week 4. Gordon was suspended indefinitely back in December of 2019 for violations of the league's policies on substance abuse and performance-enhancing substances. That was Gordon's 6th suspension since 2013. That was basically a suspension a year.
Crazy.
He was basically, for 6 suspensions. So he was suspended for the 6th time in December of 19. He debuted in the league in 2013. That's 6 years and 6 suspensions. So yeah, it was just kind of frustrating at that point with him coming back. I mean, look, we know how talented he is. I don't think he's ever going to return to that talented form, as talented as he was in the early goings of Cleveland. But man, there was a little bit of a bright spot too, like when Baker was drafted, and of course they had Jarvis Landry. I mean, the opportunity for Baker to have Jarvis and Josh Gordon, of course, and then he goes to New England. That didn't work as far as that goes. So
Seattle,
it's Seattle. I mean, that's some questions coming in on Facebook. Trey Green, not really a question. He says Josh Gordon has high standards. So there you go. Yep, keep him coming in. So Matt Sturgeon has a question about Burrow. Over under on Burrow being sacked 4.5 times this Sunday. Hashtag keep Joe alive.
I'm going to go with the under. TJ Watt is questionable.
You said Bush is back, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So he's back. So watch out in the middle of the field. But I'm going to go with the under. I'm going to go with 3.
I'm going to say 4. So technically under. I'm going to say 4, possibly more. I mean, look, he's been sacked. I can't believe it. 10 times. 10 times in 2 games. 10 times in 2 games, this dude has been sacked. I mean, that is he's.
I don't think TJ Watt's gonna play. If TJ Watt plays, I would go with those.
Well, the other reason I think that he's gonna have a long day too is the fact that they're starting Jackson Carman. Suafilo is out. Jackson Carman's getting the start, and which actually, that should help because.
But they bummed him into guard, right? They don't have him playing tackle, do they? Or do they?
Well, he should be great no matter what, because Willie Anderson, remember when he was drafted, Willie Anderson said he was great. Remember? So look out, world. TJ Watt doesn't stand a chance even if he does play. Matt, what do you think? That you asked us over under 4.5 times this Sunday that he's sacked. What about you? I mean, how many times do you think that he'll get sacked? Jake Whiting is a Bengals fan. He says, I'm going to say 4. Hayward, Melvin Ingram. Watt, Hayward, Melvin, Ingram. So basically, he's not just calling the shot; he's calling out who's going to get the shot.
1 for 1, one for all.
Jake Whiting's going on Oprah. You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack. But 518-1410. By the way, if you want to call into the show, be part of the conversation, reading everyone's comments in the comment section and interacting live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You could jump in the chat there. David Shaw says, "I got the over 5+ at least."
Whoa.
Kev, you bring up a good point too. TJ Watt's questionable. What's the severity of that? Do you know? I mean, like it's
it's a growing injury.
That's gonna be a lingering thing.
Yeah. So you want
to try and get the win though.
Yeah.
Early on, because
I mean, it's a divisional game too, so it's an important game.
And theoretically, the two teams that everyone thought would be battling it out for last in the division are these two particular teams. As crazy, as weird as it is talking about the Steelers that way, but I think there's going to be urgency on this game. I mean, the Bengals aren't urgent. They lost to the Bengals last year. You don't want to lose to the Bengals back-to-back years. You lost to the Browns back-to-back games. That wasn't a good taste in their mouth either. I could see it. I could see it being 5. I mean, if he's got sacked 5 times against the Vikings, and the Bears' defense is very solid, they have obviously really good pass rushers there too. But at the same time, the Steelers are stronger up front, and you're starting Jackson Carman, and this line wasn't even good with Suafilo there to begin with. I could see it being more than that. I'm going to say 4, but my goodness, this kid could potentially be hit 15 total times by the time this week's over. Like, that's crazy.
Joe, I love you, but I hope you get sacked 20 times. Go Steelers.
Wow. Look at you. Jake Whiting says Bush is back, but Highsmith is out, so that helps. So there you go. Bengals and Steelers, tough match. I mean, to be sacked the most times of any other quarterback in the league and to have the Steelers up next, pretty tough stretch. Luckily, they have the Jaguars. I saw Urban Meyer say, Herbs said every week it's like playing the Jaguars, or it's like playing Alabama. I'm sorry. Well, luckily, they have Rutgers coming up next week. So there you go.
Welcome to the NFL, Herb.
518-1410. Who we got, Kev?
We got Charlie.
Charlie, how are you, sir?
What's going on, guys?
Just another Friday in paradise.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered that Willie Anderson recommended Jackson Carman, because Willie Anderson's, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's on the list, so he knows what he's
By the way, I really do like Willie Anderson, but I'm just poking fun at the Bengals fans that got mad at me for when I was irritated that they moved up to, or that they moved back and selected Jackson Carman ahead of where he should have been selected. He had 4th, 5th round grades all over the place, and they took him so early. Everyone said, Kenner, you don't know what you're talking about, despite there being millions more people saying that was a bad pick than saying it's a good pick, because Willie Anderson said he was good. That's why I was poking fun at that.
That's right. Well, Willie Anderson is an offensive line guru, so why wouldn't he know? He worked with Jackson Carman.
Why wouldn't he know there, buddy? How's that working?
He hasn't played yet. What are you talking about?
Why hasn't he played yet? Because he came in fat and out of shape. That's not my opinion.
Okay, well, he's playing this weekend, so we'll see. Hey, you know what?
He got eaten alive in preseason, by the way, against 2nd and 3rd string guys. I'm just saying.
What do you think about? Hey, Justin, what do you think about the Steelers drafting Najee Harris?
I actually like that they drafted Najee Harris. That was a very important need for them.
Do you know why you like that?
Why do I like that?
Because it's the Steelers, and the Steelers make good decisions. And if the Bengals drafted a running back in the 1st round, you'd be like, that's so stupid. Jamar Chase is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now.
2 weeks in.
Do you know that?
And that's done what for Joe Burrow as far as protecting him? I thought guys like you. No. I was told by guys like you that drafting Jamar Chase was going to help protect them. Remember the coverage sacks? That was cute. That was adorable. It's like you guys all ganged up in your little Bengals club meeting and said, guys, we got to come up with something to try and make sense for why it's okay to take a wide receiver at number 5 when our quarterback is getting killed. And we're like, we'll just take coverage.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
I actually do understand what you're saying, and I'm trying to tell you that
you think it's a good idea that the Steelers made a bad decision because they're the Steelers, and historically they're good. So you're like, oh, well, they're smart. They drafted a running back, although their offensive line is total garbage. And they're the worst team in the NFL running the ball.
Spot, though. The Steelers are not trying to. The Steelers are trying to win.
Alex Leatherwood wasn't available.
Time out. No. You're going to tick me off here on a Friday because you're defending a joke of an organization. Now listen up.
I haven't even started on the phone yet.
I want you to be the smartest Bengals fan out there, so I need you to get out a pen and paper and take some notes. Kenner's teaching right now. You ready?
All right.
You got a pen?
Okay.
You got a paper?
Yep. Go.
All right. So the Steelers have a 85-year-old quarterback that they right now have actually waited too long before they've addressed the future of quarterback. They had little to no resources.
Really dumb. Another
learn anything by interrupting the teacher. I'm sorry. I mean, in class, was your...
All right.
Okay. So The Steelers are in a situation where they did not have the resources like the Bengals did as far as money goes and all the draft picks and everything else. Okay, so the Steelers had to say, based on everything that we have, what are the things we can get right now to help us win right now? A running back is supposed to help the Steelers win right now. They're not drafting for the future, although Najee Harris does address that position as the future. The Bengals had a responsibility to not just protect Joe Burrow in 2021. It's supposed to be all the way throughout his entire career. When you're rebuilding, you're not trying to draft to win now. You're trying to draft to win long term, and that's the difference. The Steelers were drafting to win now, and the Bengals were in a position to draft to win long term, and both teams failed at that.
You know what is so great about that? When Ben Roethlisberger was new in the league, and the Steelers are so brilliant at drafting players, according to you, for 10 years he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, okay, because they had a garbage offensive line. Because they never apparently didn't dress it, but they are so smart that they drafted running back, but the Bengals are so stupid for drafting a top 10 wide receiver, according to you. And you know what else? Cleveland's not that good. I really thought they were going to be.
So that you guys could both be stupid. Does that make you feel like you're mad that I'm not calling the Steelers stupid and only you guys? So should I call the Steelers stupid too, and then you'd feel better?
Well, I know why you don't call the Steelers stupid, because you hate the Bengals.
What is this weird thing that you have that you think I like the Steelers? The Steelers win Super Bowls.
You know what? You know what?
Most respected organizations in football. Your team, not so much. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you know what? I worry that the Steelers and the Packers are doing the same thing, where they're playing not to lose now because they're such a big deal. But that's a whole nother conversation.
They're a lot further into their journey with their quarterback. They're trying to win now because the window with their quarterback is so
journey's
small.
been over.
Maybe
that journey's been over for 5 years.
That's why they had to make the moves that they did to win now.
You know, they could have drafted Lamar Jackson. Why didn't they?
No one thought Lamar Jackson was going to turn into what he is in the league right now. Like the Ravens are sitting back and like, you took a chance on Lamar later in the draft. And I'm not ripping the Ravens. The Ravens are one of the best organizations in football. Like, they made the right choice. Clearly. But no one was grading, Lamar to go that high. But that happens every year in the draft. There's somebody that hits that no one was counting on. You guys were just hoping it was Jackson Carman. And look how that worked out.
After 2 weeks, who's the best team in the AFC North?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
It's not your team. I hope that's not what you're trying to insinuate.
It's certainly not your team.
Huh?
It's not your tean.
It's not my team. Okay.
It's the Are you crazy? It's the Ravens.
Okay. If you believe that, that's fine.
The Browns. I don't know what's going on with the Browns.
The Browns are better than the Ravens, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, then why couldn't they beat the Chiefs?
They were literally like right there. It was a one-possession loss to the best team in football. Your point?
They're not the best team in football.
They are.
No, they're not.
They are.
Lamar Jackson beat him by himself. Are you crazy?
Lamar Jackson was like Oral Roberts, and then Kansas City was like Ohio State. But no one believes Oral Roberts is better than Ohio State just because they beat Ohio State in the NCAA tournament. It's a good win for the Ravens.
That's a horrible comparison.
Not really.
The Ravens are a below D1 school. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just trying to say you're one of those fools that think
because
you lose one game,
when the Ravens put like 40 up on you guys because you barely could beat. I don't even know what Houston brought to the table the other day, but you could barely beat them.
Oh, I thought Kev was about to.
I mean, they almost beat you with a guy whose first name is a last name.
Hey, by the way, there's some guy on here named Jake Overholtz. He said, "Cut this clown off." You're embarrassing yourself, Charlie.
Oh no! I know what I'm talking about.
Do you?
And the Browns. I don't know, man. I really thought they were going to just take over the league, but not looking that way. Hey, and then you got those old and injured receivers. Maybe you'll get Josh Gordon.
Okay. Charlie, got anything else? I can't wait for Monday. I can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield is trash.
Wow.
Baker Mayfield is trash. And Who Day. And you guys have a good weekend. Kev, I love you.
Wow.
Jeez,
man. These Bengals fans, they're all sensitive today. He's a little soft. That's a soft Bengals fan right there. and Bengals, for the majority of Bengals fans that get mad at me, it's because of fans like that I basically paint all of you in that picture. So rather than get mad at me for that, get mad at guys like that, because that's delusional right there. Now, the Browns have clearly, look, Nearly beat the Kansas City Chiefs, took care of business in week 2 against the Houston Texans. Oh, what do you want me to say? It's too early in the season to determine that any team is garbage or not, except the Cincinnati Bengals have picked up where they left off last year. The Browns have picked up where they left off last year. There's some teams that already have an identity. The Bengals' identity is they're bad. The Browns' identity is they're good. Kansas City, they're good. Steelers, solid veteran players on both sides of the ball, weak offensive line, hoping to get an improvement at the run game. It's kind of hard to do with that offensive line. Like, we're learning as we go, but we have a pretty good idea already. Just like we have a pretty good idea that the team that has a quarterback that's already been hit 10 times in 2 games they suck at decision-making in the offseason. But enjoy your wide receiver. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, I think.
Pill emojis. Put those drink emojis in the chat for Charlie, too, by the way.
So Scott Whetstone said, was that last caller drunk?
Put those drink emojis in the chat for Charlie.
Don't be defending Charlie.
I said, put the drinks in there.
He was trying to say that I say that the Bengals are bad, but the Steelers making a lot of similar decisions. How come I'm not saying that they're bad? So he was actually trying to, if we're going to suck, we're going to pull the Steelers down with us. That was Charlie. He was trying to pull your Steelers down into the slop.
Hey, man.
The Bengals.
He'll do all the talking. We'll see what happens on Sunday, man.
Yeah, you do all the talking, and Joe Burrow will be barely walking at the end. How was that? That was a good one. We'll be back.
Bars!
That was funny. Oh, yeah. They do all the talking. Burrow barely walked. Okay, we'll be back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Panera believes in saying yes to things like the new sausage and pepperoni flatbread. Get free delivery when you order on the app through September 14th. Panera, live your yes. Restrictions apply.
Frickin' football is here. Frickers has the games on all the screens, and you score with savings. Enjoy your favorite ice-cold domestic draft personal pitchers for only $6.50. A 48-ounce personal pitcher for only $6.50. And enjoy a plate of your favorite frickin' nachos for just $7. Take your frickin' pick. Frickin' chicken nachos, Mississippi barbecue nachos, or Nacho Supreme, only $7. This season, don't just be a football fan, be a Nacho fan. At the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Hustler Turf commercial mowers are built tough to work hard. Whether you need a fleet of mowers or are a one-man show, you don't have time for downtime. Hustler mowers are over-engineered, overbuilt, and tested well beyond what is required, with the most complete lineup in the industry, including exclusives like a 104-inch Super 104, an 88-inch stand-on, and industry-leading warranties. Hustler mowers are ready to handle what you throw at them. Build your fleet to be reliable and versatile with Hustler Turf. Visit Small Engine Service Pros in New Carlisle today.
Hi, John Glazer here for Glazer Soft Water. We've been making water great since 1988, and no matter what your water issues, we have solutions. Your city water can be clear, but still be hard and have the taste and odor of chlorine. Well water can look, smell, and taste terrible. Glazer Soft Water will fix your water and will even include a 7-year parts and labor warranty, so you don't have to worry. Visit our website to learn more at glazersoftwater.com. Glazer Water really is better water.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
Home delivery becoming a bit boring? Then isn't it time to visit one of Marion's Piazza's 9 Dayton area locations for some award-winning pizza? Marion's has been delivering the taste, the quality, and the value for over 50 years. So it comes as no surprise that Marion's Pizza has been voted Dayton's best pizza in over 40 local surveys and ranks #1 in the nation by Pizza Today magazine. Next time, why not come in for the pizza that really delivers? A Marion's Pizza. After all, we at Marion's believe that quality speaks for itself.
Shop the Just for Pros event at Lowe's now through September 24th to save big on top tool brands like Bosch, DeWalt, and more. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 9/24 U.S. only.
NFL fans, the season is finally here. Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now. Good luck.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
WWE Extreme Rules this Sunday night at Nationwide Arena in Columbus. WWE Monday Night Raw in Cincinnati at Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati. And guess what? We got tickets to both. And all you got to do is head to Facebook, find the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, like and follow the page, and then you got to share the live video feed. That's it. Everyone has Facebook. Like the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Like that page, and then all you got to do after that is, well, just the live video feed that you watch the show on live weekdays from 3 to 6. You share that. Everyone who shares it will be entered into a drawing to win tickets to Extreme Rules or Monday Night Raw. You either get pair to Extreme Rules or pair to Raw, whatever. I'll let you pick. But the bottom line is, if you're a WWE fan, we got a lot of tickets, and we have a lot of opportunities for you to take in the product that's coming up weekend. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine, and it's been a fun Friday. This is what I love. This is why I love the NFL, Steve. Because Kinner's always right. Bengals fans are always wrong. Really, actually, that's not. I don't need football season for that to be the case. No, Charlie is fun. He's been a regular caller for a while, so him and I just go back and forth.
He just got put on the hamburger grill.
Oh, I guess. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. So the True American dude called in and said, "Charlie, you're on the hamburger. You're on the hamburger list, dude." He was not happy
at all.
And he never likes to come back on a second time. I really wish he would. He was like a WWE theme show today. I would love for it to be Charlie against the True American. Would Charlie be the babyface, or would the True American be the babyface? I think the True American's the heel.
Yes.
But like with his music, how could you boo this music?
I mean, he went bad guy. They all go bad guy at one point or another.
And then when they go bad guys, they get this music. Yeah, they got to do the mean button, walk into the ring. But the True American would legitimately be the best WWE character out there. Tell him. Share the Facebook feed and have a chance to win WWE Extreme Rules tickets at Nationwide Arena this Sunday night. WWE Monday Night Raw at Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati on Monday night, of course. All right, back to the Facebook reactions we go. Again, I don't even know how we got into this. So the Steelers in the Bengals play. Steelers, one of the best defenses in the league, especially up front with their pass rush. TJ Watt questionable for Sunday. That would be a huge break for the Cincinnati Bengals. Speaking of break, Joe Burrow about to be broken again because he's already been sacked the most times of any other quarterback in the NFL. Oh, wait, to be fair, he's tied with Zach Wilson with the Jets. And that's just the kind of company you want to be keeping is the Jets quarterback. That's the club you want to be hanging out in, right? And look, I'm not enjoying watching Joe Burrow get hit a lot. I'm just enjoying being right Kenner enjoys a lot of things. And being right is probably number one. And I am not right often, but I know that I have been very passionate about, I'm right about this. That offensive line has been garbage. Pro Football Focus, not having them in their worst top or bottom 10 worst offensive lines in football. Give me a break. You could tell that's centered out of Cincinnati. I mean, my goodness. So yeah, but we're getting a lot of those drink emojis for Charlie.
Yeah,
So
you
there's
got to,
that.
man. You got to.
Why do we got to get him drinks? I'm just curious.
Because he was drunk when he was calling in today.
Oh, you're saying he's drunk?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were defending Charlie. I thought you were defending him.
No. You get drinks for when you're acting crazy. And
What do you
then
get for Mikey?
Oh man, shoot, you get snowflakes because the type of drugs he must have been on.
Oh man, the booger sugar.
Yes.
I thought you were talking politics.
No, definitely not.
Look at Kev bringing up politics into the show. Stick to sports, Kev. Holy moly. All right, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. 518-1410. 518-1410. Thoughts on this weekend's matchup between the Steelers and the Bengals. We'll talk about the Browns and the Bears coming up here in just a moment. Justin Fields, Buckeye quarterback, will make his NFL debut. We'll also talk about the quarterback that's going to make his debut for the Buckeyes this season, or this Sunday or Saturday as well. Kev, who we got?
We got Nick.
Nick, how are you, sir?
What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Justin, just wanted to say you're the worst, dude. You're the worst.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm surprised sometimes how worked up. I don't think it's truly worked up over some of these callers, but sometimes hearing you, I'm just like, I can't believe you allow yourself to get that wrapped up in a phone call with some rando.
I really wish you were cutting out. I'd love to hear more of the mean things you're saying about me, but your phone keeps cutting out. You want to repeat the things. Yeah, you keep going. I don't want. I mean, yeah, you're good.
It's nothing bad, man. It's nothing bad. No, I had a question for you guys. It's not really related to anything.
Wait, so I'm not the worst, or I am the worst?
No, yeah, you're the worst.
Okay.
You're the worst when you gloat, dude. When you're
reasonable. You got to blame the Bengals for that, because if they would just protect Joe Burrow, I would be making scrambled eggs with all the eggs on my face, but my face is clean and present.
Well, that's the thing. One of the things you said was that
you have a call
you'd be
waiting?
okay.
I think we hear your call beeping. You got a call waiting?
Probably because I got my window down, man. You said a couple weeks ago that if the Bengals threw Joe Burrow less, you would be happy with 20 to 30 passes a game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like right in that window, but you're not gloating about that. Right? I mean, they've really toned that down. He hasn't thrown, I don't think he's thrown over 33 passes in a game. So that's good.
No, but you're right. So last year, because this goes back to my comment about last year about Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor, I said, was doing a horrible job managing Joe Burrow, because although the offensive line can't protect him, Zach Taylor should be doing a better job of protecting him by limiting how much he throws and dropping him back 30 to 40 times a game. That's not a good thing, because you're just setting him out there and hanging him out there to dry. So technically, I have not looked at how many times he has dropped back in a game, but I mean, the fact that he's been sacked 10 times, the most of any other quarterback in the NFL, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's not really the reason for my call.
It was just to tell me how it works, right?
No, I'm going to ask you guys a question that's not necessarily Bengals or Browns related, but Monday I'm going to work and I'm going to put in my notice. I got a new job.
Congratulations.
Right? So I'm wondering if one player in the Bengals and Browns division, the AFC North, if one player were to step away from the game, who would have the biggest impact on the division? Whose absence would have the biggest
Brady, who's
impact?
like the Tom Brady, like Tom Brady leaves the Patriots and that whole division just kind of changed. Okay.
Yes, either side of the ball, and I'll hang up and listen. I was just curious to get your guys' thoughts on who is the heaviest hitter, period, in our division. Thanks.
Thank you. Interesting. I like that question, by the way. So our last caller just asked which player in the AFC North, because our last caller, by the way, Nick, he said that he is resigning from his job. He got a new job. Congratulations to Nick. So Nick said that, he's getting a new job. He's leaving his company, but he wants to know which player in the AFC North can leave and just totally flip that division upside down. If you had to ask me that 2 years ago, I would have honestly said Ben Roethlisberger. But the problem is Big Ben's not the old Big Ben. He's old Big Ben right now. So I don't think him leaving would really turn the AFC North upside down because we're not getting the true Big Ben that we've been accustomed to seeing for so dang long. It's definitely not Baker Mayfield. I think that, the Browns have the best backup quarterback in the NFL, or at least the best backup situation, just because I think Case Keenum matches what Baker does very evenly. It's definitely not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, the Bengals looked as bad without him as they did with them last year, so it's not him. I think it's Lamar. 3 years ago, Lamar Jackson as a rookie, okay, the Ravens were down and out. They had already moved on from Harbaugh. It was announced. I don't know why. No, I don't understand why people don't remember that. Harbaugh, it was announced midway through the season, even kind of early on, that Harbaugh would not be returning to the Ravens at the end of that rookie season of Lamar. They still had Flacco as the starting quarterback. The Ravens were dead now. And then all of a sudden they put Lamar in due to a Flacco injury. And not only did Lamar flourish, the Ravens won a ton of games. They made the playoffs, and they've made the playoffs every year since. They've won, been right there at the top of the division every year. They win a ton of games. I think, Kev, the guy that if you take out of the AFC North, that would totally change the direction of that division, it's Lamar Jackson. I would say Nick Chubb would be second.
Oh, without a doubt, it's Lamar Jackson. Without a doubt,
not even close.
I as soon as he said that, and I was like, well, it's Lamar, because he is their offense. He's their passing game. He's their running game. Everything is predicated about what he does. Even on basic handoffs, he's a part of the run game because of the threat for him to keep the ball. So that helps out in the running game. That keeps an extra defender out of the box, because you have to say, oh, well, what if he does keep it this time? What if he's bootlegging? You keep him out the box, so it makes it so much easier for the running backs because there's less players in the box. So then, obviously, he's a quarterback, so he's making all the plays in the passing game, obviously. So you add all that up, and just everything he does for that team offensively is without a doubt Lamar Jackson. And then you go, like you just said, like with the Browns, you have Case Keenum, who was the quarterback underneath Stefanski. So, as good as Baker Mayfield is playing, I'm not sure the fall off from Case Keenum would be like falling off a cliff. They had Trace McShorty back there as the backup for the Ravens last year. Now they have the kid from Utah as the backup, like unestablished players as backups. So without a doubt, for me, if Lamar Jackson was to, leave free agency or retire or something wacky like that, he's the guy, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to Lamar Jackson. I think Nick Chubb comes in second. You take Nick Chubb off the Browns, they become very one-dimensional. I still think they got
Kareem Hunt. Huh? But they have Kareem Hunt still.
But they still didn't run the ball to the level of which they did.
No, not with that power. Like Kareem is very good. Don't get me wrong, but he definitely doesn't have that power.
Maybe it's not Chubb. Maybe are we missing someone? That's what makes the AFC North so interesting is that if the Bengals can get that offensive line there, they become a decently well-rounded team. They have Mixon, they have the receivers. I believe they have a quarterback. Joe Burrow, we don't know. I know everyone wants to pretend we know about Joe Burrow. We don't know about Joe Burrow. We didn't know about Sam Darnold until he got, better protection over in Carolina, and all of a sudden now he looks like a very, very good quarterback. We don't know. We want Joe Burrow to work out, and he's shown stints, but we can't sit there and ignore results like last week's game. Remember last year against the Steelers, how poor he played? He played poorly against a lot of really good teams. So to sit here and act like Joe Burrow is a future MVP, like we got to stop with that. We don't know. We don't know because the front office won't protect him. So until that happens, we don't know who he is.
I would definitely Lamar one for sure. And then there's arguments to be made for Nick Chubb and TJ Watt for me. Like the impact that TJ Watt has on the football team and the football field, like impact plays. Like I know it's not true. Just like I know it's not true. Like I have this saying on Twitter, like, oh man, it's been a week since Dame hit a game winner. And then boom, he hits a game winner. I know he doesn't hit a game winner every week. And just I have the same saying with TJ Watt, like, oh man, he doesn't have a sack fumble this game. I know he doesn't get a sack fumble every single game, but it seems like it. You know what I'm saying? He makes a ton of impact plays. So for me, those would be my top three guys, but without a doubt, hands down, like Lamar, number one. And then there's a major fall off to number 2 and 3 for me.
518-1410. Kev, who we got?
We got Gary on line 3.
Gary, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
Big Kev, how are you guys doing today?
Hey, what's up, man?
You're not starting your call. You're supposed to say something mean about me. Apparently, that's the only way you do a call-in show lately. But no, Gary, I appreciate you calling. What you got for us, man?
Man, I don't like agreeing with you. I mean, obviously, the O-line's atrocious. I mean, what can we say as Bengals fans? It's horrible. And I'm going to catch a lot of heck. I'm going to say heck because I'm not going to try and cuss.
Oh, hell, go ahead, do it.
But if I were Joe Burrow, honestly, at this point, by the first half of the Steelers game, when he's sacked 3 to 4 times, walk off the field. If they're not going to do anything, hot take. Exactly. If the Bengals are going to do, if the Bengals organization is going to do nothing.
Oh no, Gary.
Nothing this year.
Oh, there he is. We got you back. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
If they did nothing last year, they've done nothing this year to protect him. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league. Okay, yes, of course. Like you said, he's tied with the Jets quarterback. They've done nothing. Walk off the field. When you go to work for an employer and they put your safety in jeopardy,
that's a good point. I mean,
walk out.
Yeah, and look, and
they're literally putting his career, his livelihood in jeopardy by not giving him protection. I mean, any other job in existence, when your job is put on the line by your corporation, by them putting you on the line and not protecting you, what happens? There's repercussions on the organization. There's no repercussions. Of course, yeah, you sign a contract, you're obligated to go out there and play. But when you have an organization that's putting you out there just to sell tickets and they really obviously don't care about your safety, walk out. Walk out. And I hate saying that as a Bengals fan. Walk out.
Well, real quick. My problem with Joe Burrow was every time, and again, I don't expect him to actually throw his line under the bus in the offseason. But when he was asked multiple times about who he would love to see his team draft, he even was all about Jamar Chase. Now, I think the one thing Bengals fans get mixed up with me on is they think.
But he had to.
Yeah, then that's what I'm saying.
That's what the Bengals have to do. They have to follow what the organization tells them, or tell me, it's Mike Brown. You have to follow the status quo of what Mike Brown says you have to say.
I mean, he doesn't value the offense.
When he got his knee, when Carson Palmer got his knee blown out, and then next year he came along, he's like, "No, I'm not playing. Sorry, I'm gone. I'm done. I'm done getting my butt kicked."
And then Bengals fans vilified him, but they should all have been saying the same thing. So what a lot of Bengals fans here.
I understood.
And Gary, Gary, thank you, man. You have a good weekend, okay?
Yes, sir.
When I criticize, like back to the draft, Kev, when I said the Bengals needed to get Penei Sewell, and by the way, I know Penei Sewell has not had a great start to the season.
Go check PFF.
Yeah, I was going to say
I'm saying no, straight up. Like they I saw it on Twitter the other day. I was
really?
Yeah, he's balling.
They're knowledgeable.
Balling for whatever that means. Immediately I was like, whatever that means. But like I was like, well, didn't give up a sack on Monday Night Football versus Green Bay, and that's like Green Bay's strong suit is, rushing a passer. Didn't give up a sack.
Interesting.
Haven't given up a sack since the sophomore year at Oregon.
So when I was saying I was Team Sewell, what people were hearing is that I said Jamar Chase is no good. I never once said that Jamar Chase was not talented or was not smart. If the Bengals had an offensive line and there was Jamar Chase, of course, take him. Yes, I said I was just as critical of the Browns when they got rid of Zeitler to go get OBJ. I said, no, that's the stupid thing to do. I get that you want to give Baker a great elite, wide receiving weapon, but you don't do it in spite of your offensive line. So I ripped my own team for doing something similar, and yeah, I get called a homer. I was ripping the Bengals for doing the same thing. Charlie earlier was acting like he was getting one over on me, like, I thought you said he wasn't going to be any good. I never said he wasn't going to be any good. I said that that's not who they needed to get right now. The Bengals weren't in a position to take an elite wide receiver because they're not there yet. You're not ready for that yet. You don't deserve that yet, to be quite honest with you. You got to protect your quarterback. So if you want to go get a weapon for Joe Burrow to throw to, well, you have to allow him to have time to throw it to him. And I know that he's had some good stats already the first couple weeks in, but the numbers are going to be there. So if Jamar Chase has these great numbers, that's fine. But if Joe Burrow only plays 8 or 9 games of the 17-game regular season because he's sacked 70 times 8 games in, then what? Are you still going to be bragging about the numbers of Jamar Chase? Because I would much rather have him be upright for 17 games and no Jamar Chase than to have Jamar Chase for 17 games and Joe Burrow for 9. 9 if he's lucky. 518-1410. Kev, who's up?
We got Mr. Know-It-All.
Mr. Know-It-All. How are you, sir?
Oh, I am great. I am great. And as always, it is your pleasure to have me on. Yours and the fans that you have out there. I know they're so excited to hear
4
me.
of them, I tell you, they are so excited to have you on the show.
Yes,
today.
they are. Yes, they are. Well, let me go ahead and get right to it, and I'll answer your question and give you I've been on the phone here, and I'm sitting up here. Why aren't you guys talking about the team that's in first place?
They're all in first place.
No. If you beat a team, if you're undefeated in the division, aren't you in first place?
The Ravens have a loss. The Steelers have a loss. The Browns have a loss. The Bengals have a loss.
Nobody's won the division game yet.
The Oakland Raiders has beat the Raiders. And
they're 2-0 in the AFC North.
So technically, aren't they in first place? So to answer your question, if you take David Carr out of the AFC North, that would totally change that division.
You take that defensive line out, that defensive line is balling, no doubt about it.
Without Khalil Mack, by the way, it's almost as if Gruden knew what he was doing, right?
5 years later.
5 years later.
It all worked out. I told you.
Well, hey, it's a 10-year plan. It's a 10-year
It was like me in college, my friend.
Yeah. So it's a 10-year plan. He has a 10-year contract, 10-year plan. So 5 years in, we're starting, it takes you 4 years. You get your freshman, your sophomore, your junior, your senior, get that first class out of there. And then you start to head down the direction that you want to head. So, I would just say, the Las Vegas Raiders, we're in first place in 2 divisions. Football is so great when your NFL team's 2-0, the mighty Fighting Irish of Notre Dame is 2-0. They don't want this smoke.
Go Bearcats. I'm thinking about going to the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm thinking about going. You going?
I am going. Yes, I'm going.
I'm thinking about it.
We got a local here on the Irish coaching staff. So for the guys, I'm going to tell you, it's a great time for football, and I can teach you a little something. If you guys turn on the NBC network, the Notre Dame broadcasting channel on Saturday, you can see real college football, and just go find them Oakland Raiders them Las Vegas Raiders. This week we got the Dolphins, and I'm kind of feeling bad for Tua because Tua's being prejudged. He's being prejudged a little bit, but this could be a trap game for us.
This is good for Tua. This is good he got hurt because he was going to get hurt in this game. He's not playing this week, so he was going to get hurt either way.
Yeah, I just don't like they're trying to put the injury-prone thing on him, and I get it. But I haven't heard much Buckeye talk. I mean, where are you Buckeye fans at? Where are they?
I can tell you've only been listening on a Friday.
We've talked Buckeyes all week, and to be perfectly honest, I'm sick of talking about the Buckeyes.
Yeah, every time we talk Buckeyes, some yahoo calls in and wants Ryan Day fired. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't agree with that, but listen, I'm so glad I don't have to hear about it. Because listen, you got a freshman quarterback, and I can't believe I'm about to tell you. You got a freshman quarterback, Ryan Day's in his second year.
Third
year. Let things pan out. Let things pan out. Buckeyes will be fine, and I'm not a Buckeye fan. I can't stand them. But they'll be fine. They'll be in the thick of things by the time the smoke clears. But if it comes down to the Irish, if we go undefeated, Buckeyes go undefeated, the Irish will get in easy because their schedule's better. So our schedule's way better than Ohio State. So big win. You guys call it the Big Ten. I call it the big win. So everybody's talking about ACC being overrated. The Big Ten is way overrated.
I don't know. I mean, didn't Michigan State just go down to Miami and win?
Yeah. Okay. So you gonna hang your hat on Michigan
I'm just
State?
saying. I'm just saying. Those are two teams. One's from the Big Ten. One's from the ACC. They went down to their house and won.
Mr. Know-It-All, I had to cut you off because we bleeded over. I'm running behind here. So it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. And don't worry. Thanks. Shout out to Morgan Garber, by the way. He found that beautiful tweets that is out on my Twitter right now. I wasted no time. I just took a screenshot of Joe Burrow. I took a screenshot of the quarterback leading the league in sacks. And then I put it right next to this beautiful tweet of Mr. Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell hasn't allowed a sack while playing left tackle since week 4 of 2018 at Oregon. Good for him. Good for him. Just saying.
Jared Goff back there chilling.
Kind of.
Man, I told you, man, they look good in the first half. Then they still ran that same defense.
Should have bit more kneecaps. Hour 3, even though we're in hour 3, but our hour 3 coming up next. Go Browns.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for 2 to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 tickets to the big game. One bowl prize winner will be chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
Hello, I'm Clerk of Court Rob Scott, serving Kettering, Centerville, Moraine, and Washington Township. From October 18th to October 29th, you can come to Kettering Municipal Court and pay off half your fines and costs, and the other half will be waived. There is nothing to fear. Come pay off half your fee.
This is brought to you by Rob Scott, Clerk of Court. Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right,